right, good morning. It's Women's Month. We're delving into our first art chat as well of the morning. Sheli Masondo, an acclaimed South African costume designer, of course, best known for transformative work on Shaka iLembe. Fresh off international appearance at San Diego Comic Con 2025 edition. While she was featured as a panelist at More Than Capes, Costume Creates Character, and that was hosted by the International Society of Black Costume Designers. Her artistry, it reclaims and redefines African representation on screen. And this morning, Sheli joins us in studio to tell a little bit more about her work. On that note, Sheli, good morning. Congrats. Welcome. How are you feeling at this point?
Good morning. I'm feeling great. It's awesome to be here. I'm honored for the invite. Thank you so much.
You are conversation starter the country over, because this is what people, I mean, beyond the amazing production, people look forward to how the work is being translated. And it doesn't feel costumey. It feels so real and so well translated. And it takes us on an emotional journey. Queen Nandi, for example, you are the view that, you want to encapsulate that spiritual journey that she also embarks on. And we know the significance of her character in our history. So tell us how you went through that emotional layering, through fabric, through form, and ultimately what we see on our screens.
Yeah, I was honored to actually be able to be in contact with historians, go through the whole lengthy period of research. Not only was it isolated to going to books and international research, it was also contact research with walking the fields in KZN and meeting artisans, oral historians, who not only told stories like folklores, but also were able to demonstrate their craft, their indigenous approach to crafting.
Yes, it's about identity and heritage and that accuracy and also just indigenous knowledge systems. And you really incorporated that so well. I mean, we can't ignore what's literally standing in front of us. And this is obviously a reverence. And thank you for birthing this, and even you and your team bringing it. Can you walk us through what that aha moment was for you when you were creating these pieces?
It's, I'm a Zulu girl myself, yes. And I've always known things like Istwaba and Ibeshu, and I did not take it in so much consideration until I actually had to sit down in Gwanongoma with the ladies that were actually making Izitwaba, like for instance the skirt worn by all the Zulu women in the show. And the way they had actually passed down the techniques from generations to generations, and it's still they've preserved the art. And as a fashion designer, I have studied pattern technique.
Yes.
And when I actually saw how by freehand they could actually create panels on Isitwaba, and without any formal education, and the intricacy was quite overwhelming to me.
And what about, Shaga's, or the costumes for the men as well? How did you translate that? I'm also asking this because I know another conversation starter was Ntombazi's rib cage, regalia. And I mean, I don't know what happened, how you dreamt that up. But I mean, can you tell us through that process as one, and what it also meant in reclaiming some of your own history and heritage and identity?
Yes. So with Ntombazi's sort of like what I had actually looked at, we know, and in spiritual realm, we know that from what we know is that we know that sometimes people use certain elements in their darkness from
to translate.
Yes. So what I did, I actually wanted to look at elements that will be organic, that can also play a part in design and celebrate art, because that's what I wanted to do as well. In my walks, I actually realized how creative our ancestors were, and I wanted to bring that forward and have it play a major role in, so that our audiences could actually relate and be inspired by the craft as well.
And also just remember who we are, right? And
Yes.
that knowledge. And so much so that it's celebrated the world over now. You're representing us at Comic-Con. You obviously worked in other productions, including Black is King. So tell us a little bit more about what that recognition means for you and for our continent, for identity and our heritage as well.
It was an honor to actually be on the same stage as respectable costume designers who are also award winners.
Yes.
And sitting right next to them, being able to actually share our art, and me not just representing myself, but representing South African designers, South African craft, and African craft as a whole at the Comic-Con.
Yeah, absolutely. Supporting guidance is so important. And I mean, you spoke about how you worked with so many artisans and you got to tap into the innate knowledge, but also hone your own craft. And I mean, do you want to speak a little bit more about the hours that went into that and, the sacrifices, the vision as well, how people were empowered for the work that they're doing? We know the plight of artists in our country and the dire state that they often find themselves in, given the lack of support.
Yeah, having found these artisans in rural Gwandebele, rural KZN, it was very exciting for me to actually have them also. It was intentional to have them be part of the production, the ladies at Kwanongoma. Their craft was so unique that I could not copy and paste it. I needed to actually bring them along to be part of the production team that creates this craft for us. Like, for instance, this cape that Nandi wore at the coronation is actually has a beadwork at the back that feels like, when you touch it, it feels like carpet, and it's made from the smallest size of beads. And we actually, this is about 600,000, it's made of 600,000 beads. And she actually sat on it for a full 5 months, just focusing on that. And for me, that is actually my favorite part of
So
this
what would
journey.
you say is the hardest part about your creative process, or perhaps even just maybe working with people along the value chain? Is time a scarce resource and having to put this out given the production timelines, etc.?
I guess because we wanted to be as authentic as possible.
Yes.
And we wanted to use natural fibers. It was harder to actually find the material, it was travels, to actually find nguni skins, to find goat skins. You had to go to really sourced from Maritzburg. So there was a lot of travel, travel to Gwandebele.
What happens to the preservation of these costumes now? And I mean, what is the vision for how people can, interact with it and still be part of it? Is it going to be archived? Is there a museum? Do you just keep it for the next season? I'm looking at your headpiece itself. There's red, you've got Kari beads. I mean, we know the significance of what that meant on our African continent. Can you tell us a little bit more about what this all means as well, representing you?
This is just representing how we can actually take from the costumes that are displayed on Shaka and iLembe and actually be able to take elements and start putting them into our costume, and this, in a way, celebrating the authenticity of our culture.
Okay, and does the Kari beads or what do they represent for you? It's big, it's your headpiece, right? It's your crown.
For me, it represents the passion for my culture, staying true to who I am, and that has been a constant thread throughout ever since I started working on Shaka iLembe.
Any teasers on what else we can expect as we wrap up?
More beauty, more Nandi type of glam on the sandy carpets or the cowhide carpets on screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll stay tuned and watch your socials as well. We'll leave that there. Thank you, Sheli, and well done. Thank you for flying the flag, not only for our culture, our country, but the continent as well. And we're wishing you all the best as you continue to soar. This morning, Sheli Masondo joining us, as you know, acclaimed South African costume designer, fresh off her international appearance at San Diego Comic Con 2025. A conversation started of note, and we are looking forward to many, many more feats as she continues on her journey. Let's leave it there and be right back after this.